Hi guys, Master Schiele here. Today we're going to be talking about a fighter mindset and how we can use that to help us with all of life's struggles. If you've not yet, please do hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, all that great stuff. It's going to keep me sending this information out to you. Let's get started. The first thing that a great fighter needs to know is they don't quit. Let's use this as an example. Let's say you are in a fight, you're in a match, and you are just completely in a situation. Actually, let's take us out of the example. Let's say watch a professional fight, okay? Now, you guys see that person getting beat up. You might see their hands can barely stay up. You might see they can't catch their breath. They look very dizzy, and they're waiting for either the ref or they're waiting for their corner to throw the towel in for that match to stop. But they have the mindset of not quitting. They went in there to win, and they're not gonna quit. Now, if you watch enough fights, you're going to see sometimes that's going to work in their favor, and they're going to really be able to come back from that. But if they don't come back, here's what I want you to really understand from that. We don't quit. We have the mentality of saying no matter what, no matter how hard things are going to become, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to throw the towel in. I am going to keep fighting. And that is the difference between good and great. Somebody that is really great, they're not going to stop. They're not going to quit. They're not going to let anything get in their way. Yes, we're going to fail sometimes. Yes, you're going to get beat up. Yes, you're going to get beat up a lot sometimes. But what happens is we can't throw the towel in. We don't quit. All right? Now, here's the difference between life and being a fighter. A fighter has that ref or they have their corner to throw the towel in. We don't have anyone to throw the towel in for us. And that's something that's great that we have that a fighter doesn't have in that situation. We can't quit because we don't have someone to throw the towel in. We're the only one that can do that, but we're not going to, right? And that's that mentality that we really have to have. Now, moving forward, if you've ever been in a ring yourself, especially my martial artists know what I'm talking about, you might have this situation where you are really just outmatched, all right? You do enough fights, you really know what I'm talking about here. And sometimes what you have to do is you just have to wait for your opponent to gas themselves out. When they gas themselves out, they just throw everything they have. You kind of take the shots, you step back, but then when they start to slow down, that's when you make your move, right? That's when you go back and you hit them hard. And that's sometimes what we have to do in life, especially when life is getting noisy. You know, we're watching, you know, a lot of the news. We're watching whatever's going on in the world, and we just let it affect us. What happens is we have to shut that out, let it gas itself out. Because remember, every storm will eventually stop. Eventually, it'll turn into sunshine. But we just have to wait that storm out. So with an opponent, we let that gas itself out, and then we make our move. Sometimes with life, we just have to say, hey, maybe just step back a little bit and say, you know what? It's going to gas itself out. It's going to work itself out, and that's when I'm going to make my move. And I think that's a really important thing that we can really learn from that fighter mindset. Let's move forward, guys. The next thing is really being able to learn on the fly and being able to adjust quickly. So if you've ever, been in a ring yourself, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Let's say you're in a martial art fight and you have an opponent that really you are preparing for kicks, right? They're a kicker and all of a sudden they start punching you and you weren't ready for that. You have to adjust quickly. You have to say, all right, they're punching me. They're not kicking like I thought they would. And you have to really work on the fly, acknowledge it, and then go quickly. But what you don't want to do is just kind of step in there and go, oh, wow, they're a puncher. I'm not prepared for that. I'm not going to make a different move, and I'm not going to adjust what I'm currently doing. That's a problem I think sometimes people make, is they want to keep going that direction thinking that it's going to change themselves. No. If they're punching and not kicking, you have to adjust. They're not going to adjust if they're winning, right? You have to be that person. So if you're doing the same thing and you're not getting a result from that, you need to acknowledge what you're doing wrong and quickly adjust. And the quicker you do that and the quicker you really make that adjustment happen, that's where you're going to be able to really hit back. And that's where you're going to really be able to dominate the fight. Because if you don't do that, what's going to happen is that opponent is going to get the best of you. See how that works right there? So quickly be able to adjust, learn on the fly, and go with it, all right? Now, the next thing is I want you to also, as you go into a fight, be ready for everything, okay? If you've ever watched, any of the Rocky films or any martial art movie, you'll sometimes see there's an opponent, and that opponent is really just dominating, right? So, you have to be able to adjust to your fight. You got to be ready for everything. So if you're fighting only to fight a kicker and all of a sudden they start punching you, you are not prepared. So what we want to do is we want to prepare for everything. We want to prepare for anything that life is going to throw at us. Now, something that really does make a difference is learning from mistakes and kind of learning from that situation. Sometimes life is going to hit us with things that we're not ready for, but this is the beauty about that no-quit mentality and that no-quit spirit. The longer we're blessed to be on this earth, the more we're going to learn from that, right? And we're going to be able to actually adjust and prepare for things that'll happen in the future. Every day that goes by, we're going to get stronger, we get better knowledge, and we just understand how things and how we can really adjust in any situation right there. So really, team, what I'm trying to say is, let's take an ant for an example. All right, I don't remember where I heard this, but I heard it at one point and I loved it. It really resonated with me. An ant in the summer, they're not thinking summer. An ant in the summer is focused on winter. They are working all winter to really say, hey, I am preparing for that winter, right? I'm preparing for that next stage that's going to happen. They're not going, oh, it's a beautiful day, I'm going to take the day off. No, every day they're getting food, they're getting everything ready for their community. They're working, and they're really preparing for that. And I think if we have that same mentality, that we're always ready for everything, we just acknowledge everything, we're ready for it, then we're going to really have a great experience. So that tip, guys, is really just be ready for everything. Let's kind of finish this up, and this is something that I want to let you guys really see right here. So at the end of everything, I want you to always understand, I want you to run towards your goals, all right? What is the difference between a gazelle and a lion? A gazelle runs away from danger. A lion runs towards what it wants, right? In life, we want to be a lion. We don't want to be a gazelle, okay? And if we really look at life that way and we say, hey, no matter what I want, I'm going to go for it. If I'm going to be a black belt, I'm going for that black belt. If I'm going to be the top of my company, I want to be the top of my company. Whatever you are striving for in life, I want you to run towards it. Don't run away from the dangers. Just be that lion. Don't be that gazelle. Guys, I hope that helped. I'll see you in our next video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Take care.